Alright, let's finish this off. So this is the last challenge in the Ronin Warriors collab. And this one's actually pretty easy once you understand what it is you're supposed to do. It is in fact much easier than the challenge that came before. Not that any of the challenges were particularly hard, it's just that the last one had a lot more potential to be annoying than this one did. So as you can see, I have brought Hespe Freya here. Hespe Freya I don't think is necessary to beat this map, in my case, but it did make things a decent bit easier. But anyway, what you're going to see me doing here is that I'm going to be taking Iris, and I'm going to be using her to lead Rio around. You don't need to kill any of the ads on this map to win. You just need to kill Atago, and the 3 ads are mostly just there to annoy you while you're trying to kill Atago. Now, Atago will actually absorb the ads into himself when he reaches, I believe it's 40% HP. So you actually don't need to fight the ads at all. I'm only going to beat up Kaira a little bit at the start, mostly just to stop her from bothering me. Now, the biggest thing you need to avoid on this map is to actually try to avoid getting hit by AoEs as much as possible. I'm actually getting hit by an AoE right now, but you know, this is just to get his cooldown to go away. I don't want it to be dispelling anything while I'm busy trying to kill Atago. Now, Atago himself actually has 2 AoEs, and I heard a lot of people talking about this map saying that you should try to dodge the AoEs, but the truth is like you really shouldn't need to be doing any dodging at all, as long as you place your units correctly. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a second here. So first, I'm just going to just do some damage to Atago on this turn. Now, one of the things you need to realize about Atago's AoEs is that they only have 2 span at base. So that means they only do basically a plus sign. They're the equivalent of Rain's Autumn Leaf Cutter, except while he's not transformed. So it's only just a plus sign AoE. So when I place my units like this, I'm doing right now, Atago is just not going to do his AoEs because he doesn't see multiple targets to hit. So he's just going to do a single target attack. Now on this map, every time people get hit by an enemy, the boss Atago will gain 1 stack of the map's gimmick. Now, each stack of this gimmick will give Atago more damage, and he will get special bonuses to himself when he gets enough of these stacks. But if you play this map correctly, it's actually should be relatively simple to keep his stacks low enough so that you can just dogpile him and not have to worry about anything aside from just hitting him the whole time. And you really don't want him to get his AoEs off anyway, because his AoEs, especially one of the AoEs, has a very nasty effect, which lowers the amount of damage you do. Based on how many allies you have next to you. This isn't going to be a concern as long as you don't trigger any AoEs, like I said. So as you can see, as long as you don't put units directly adjacent to each other, Atago is just not going to cast any AoEs. And Hespe Freya I brought along pretty much just to tank these hits from Thoma and Kaira. Now, if I had a unit that had enough move and I was confident in your bulk, I could have moved Iris up a little bit, or whatever unit I had kiting around, move them up a little bit, and maybe Kaira would have chased them instead of the rest of the party, but I'm not confident in my Iris's bulk, so I'm just going to have to take Kaira's hits here. So as you can see, all I'm doing is dogpiling onto Atago here. So when Atago reaches 20 stacks, and actually, in fact, every 20 stacks it gets, his AoE is increased in span by 1. Now this is obviously going to be a problem later on in the fight, but for now, since I don't have any stacks to worry about, or at least he doesn't have enough stacks to worry about, I can just surround him like I did before, and he's just going to use single target attacks forever. Which is fine because I can just hit him until he reaches the HP threshold that causes all the ads to disappear, and then I just need to worry about finishing off Autogo. And like I said, SP Freya is just going to be standing here and taking hits from both Toma and Kaiura. Everybody else is just going to be beating up Autogo. And since I don't need to deal with his AoEs, I don't have to deal with the damage down debuff either. And I can pretty much just maintain this formation forever as long as Autogo doesn't reach 20 stacks. Which he's going to reach very slowly because the enemies are just doing single targeted hits. Except for Toma right now, which he was doing an AoE. Now, Toma is going to fire off the occasional AoE. As long as you make sure you don't get more than 2 people hit by it, you should be fine. Because if you get 3 or more people hit by it, he is going to reset his cooldown, and that's not something to want. So Autogo is actually getting kind of low HP now. He's getting ready to shift into his next phase. So this turn I can actually start teleporting Iris back up so that she can start helping the group again. So if you do it this way, pretty much the entire fight is just a stat check, a very kind of a steep stat check. You do want to, obviously when you do it this way, you do want to be able to do a lot of damage so that you can push Autogo into his second phase quickly, so he doesn't build a bunch of stacks from Kaiura and Toma hitting your whatever tank you're going to use over and over. Like I said at the beginning, I didn't have to bring SP Freya, although SP Freya is the most convenient free-to-play tank that I can bring. Because none of the other free-to-play tanks have magic guards still, and Autogo does magic damage. And of course, Freya reduces magic damage pretty significantly as well. I could have conceivably just used vanilla Freya, so I don't, but it obviously would have been a lot tougher to keep her alive that way. Although since Toma always attacks before Kaiura in the enemy turn order, so if I was gonna bring Vanilla Freya, I probably would just bring Phalanx on her or something so that she doesn't take too much damage from Toma, and then just hope that she has enough HP to survive Kaiura. So as you can see, it's pretty much just attacking Autogo until he dies. Once Autogo reaches 20 stacks, which he does eventually reach, I just need to make sure I don't bunch people up into groups of 3 so that he can act again. And once he reaches 20 stacks, you just need to make sure each time he needs to burn his AoEs, put 2 units next to each other and spread everybody else out. Once he eats up his AoEs, rush back in, beat him up. You could also just have one person next to him the whole time doing damage if you want to. Obviously, DPSs that can heal themselves is a lot more convenient here, but it's not necessary as you can see, especially if I bring someone who can heal from far away like Almeida. So anyway, that's really all there is to it. And that's it. That's going to be it for the Ronin Warriors collab. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.
行くぞ。始めようぜ。
頑張るからね。何かお手伝いできることありますか？
行くぞ。始めようぜ。行くぞ。決めたか？